Hi there. I've been in the jungle now a week. Landed last Saturday in Belaine, travelled down here, which is 80 kilometres from Paragominas, last Sunday. Today we went to Paragominas and I purchased 20 metres of audio cable, which I split because it was doubled up, and I now have a 40 metre long wire, and I also bought this 3.5mm audio jack with these two clamps that you can attach a piece of wire to with a Phillips screwdriver. Never seen that before. Works perfectly. So there's my 40 metre long wire antenna. I found a really quiet spot on this site, on the other side of the mine, next to the jungle. I took the Meg Active MA305 antenna with the Eaton satellite over there a couple of nights ago and recorded some really good stuff. A couple of stations that I've never heard before. I'm in the process of uploading those, so you'll see those soon. But what also happened was I found this radio. Well, when I say I found it, it sort of found me. So when I came here the first time, this is my third visit, this time last year I met an elderly gentleman who's lived in the jungle here for about 20 years, and this radio, the Sony ICF-SW7600G, has been all around the world with him and here. And I only vaguely remember the conversation, but the last time I was here he said, you know, he had a shortwave radio and that he would like to share it with me when I visited next. So when I arrived here last Sunday, he said, oh, I've got that radio to show you. Brought it out and this is it. And of course I owned one of these, got it for Christmas I think back in '98. Didn't really use it, kept it in the box, eBayed it a few years later, and obviously wish I hadn't. And we were talking because we drove to Paragominas today to do a bit of shopping, and he said basically that I could have it. So what a gentleman. So I bought him lunch. He gave me this radio. He's actually got an internet radio now because he likes to listen to the sort of local UK stations from over here. He records the BBC Radio 4 Today programme, which starts at 6 AM as a podcast, and then he switches it on at 6 AM local time here. So he effectively still listens to the Radio 4 Today programme every day, but he just listens to it a few hours later. So and obviously an internet radio is perfect for that. So this radio, which I guess all of you kind of know about, has a reputation for being pretty sensitive. The original line of the 7600 series, I believe, was brought into the market to replace the original Sony 2001, of which I have a unit. I bought it from eBay for 70 quid a few months ago, and I keep meaning to take it out and test it. But this was basically, I think the original version of this was effectively a miniaturized version of that. It has a sync circuit on this radio, which I understand works really well. It also runs via, or you can listen via SSB. I can't really remember the performance of this from the unit I had because I hardly used it. I bought it with good intentions and just didn't use it. So, but I'm assuming that performance is similar to the original 2001 and not as good as the 2001D. But the fact that this guy has let me have this radio, what an amazing find in the jungle. I wasn't expecting that at all, and I'll be very pleased to take this home with me. As I said, it's been around the world. I don't know how old it is, 20 years old. But yeah, how amazing. So anyway, we drove to Paragominas, and whilst I was there, had a look round, and there was some really interesting Brazilian shortwave radios, which I wish I'd made a video now when I was in the shop, because I couldn't find a digital shortwave radio, but there were lots and lots of analog radios, even with the little world maps that you used to see on those sorts of radios years ago. It was like walking back in time. I'm going to be here probably for another week or two, and if I get a chance to go back, I'm going to make a video of those radios on the shelves. It's amazing. So there you go. So tonight I'm going to maybe test this radio along with the Eaton satellite with the 40 metre long wire that I've found, in the quiet area of the mine that I've found, and see what I can hear. So there you go. I thought I'd share that with you. It's so hot here. I'm literally sweating. The local time is just coming up to 6 p.m. and it must be 30 degrees still. The heat just doesn't give up. I think at 2 o'clock in the morning it's still sort of in the high 20s. It's incredible, the heat here, so dry. When you're driving along the roads, there's dust everywhere. But there you go. So there's the jungle. And there's the fence that the jungle's growing over. Not much protection really. A few minutes ago you could hear the howler monkeys. They were really quite loud, but they've kind of died off a little bit. But that's the sign. Sorry, that's the sights and sounds of where I am right now. Amazing. So there you go. So that's it. As I said, I've heard some really good stuff a couple of nights ago, which I'm uploading. I'll share that with you. In the meantime, yeah, I'm just really pleased with my new, to me, old radio. Brilliant. Yeah, can't thank him enough really. Okay, well, thanks for watching.